Sometimes It's an Amazing Movie refers to Miranda's Victim. I am stealing myself for from Bruce Purkey's review. I am nervous because I think, a spoiler alert, both Eric and I really love this courtroom drama. I'm just gonna very quickly. It's directed by Michelle Danner. Just interviewed her today. Well, yeah, and she was great speaking with her. Has an all-star cast: Abigail Breslin, Ryan Philippe, Luke Wilson, Emily Van Camp, and so many people. Dan Lauria, Kyle MacLachlan, Andy Garcia, Donald Sutherland, Enrique Murciano, so many wonderful people. But here's the thing that's very interesting about this 126-minute drama, which the genre, for some reason, in the press release calls it a thriller, which is, well, the movie is based on true events set in 19. Yeah, I don't know. Why is it called a thriller? Maybe more, Eric, maybe more of a courtroom drama or a drama. Would you say that's the genre?
Definitely a procedural.
Okay.
I would
like that.
think procedural is pretty fair.
All right, so
I would think Law and Order, right? I mean, it's got procedure. It's half procedural,
actually,
half
exactly.
courtroom.
Miranda's Victim, based on true events, set in 1963, centers on 18-year-old Trish Weir, again a real person, played by Abigail Breslin in just a fantastic performance. She's kidnapped and sexually assaulted by a stranger named Ernesto Miranda, played by Sebastian Quinn, and eventually she takes him to court. He is sent to prison for this is all fact-based stuff. Okay, so we're not going to talk about all the facts here, but she takes him. It's about her taking Ernesto Miranda to court and trying to mete out justice in the proceedings. Of course, this is 1963, and what's weird and sad is a lot of rape convictions don't actually transpire even today. But think of 1963, how much guts it took Trish Weir to actually try to bring justice to her situation. Luke Wilson plays her prosecutor, the attorney, and he's very good in this movie as well. And then eventually you see, as the years progress, several years progress in the 60s, how this case eventually gets overturned and via a Supreme Court situation, thanks to Ernesto's defense attorney, played by Ryan Philippe. It's a very intricate movie, 126 minutes, again, over 2 hours. Every single minute, I was pretty much riveted. The movie is shot on film. When you see certain movies, I was pre-programmed to think this was going to be like a solid 3.5 movie that people like me like. I like all these movies, these type of films, but it was a real upscale regarding learning about Miranda rights, learning about just this whole person, Trish Weir, about her story. So many great things about this movie. I was absolutely surprised at how much I really enjoyed Miranda's Victim. Before we get to Eric's, I'm assuming similar kind of take on Miranda's Victim. I don't know about Bruce. What do you think about Miranda's Victim? Did it work for you on a base level, or are you following sort of my train of thought on this too?
I think I'm closer to the base level. I think it's good. Definitely when I saw the poster and stuff, I was worried because it was just a bunch of famous heads, and it just kind of this generic looking poster, and I was like, oh boy, what are we getting into here? But a lot of great actors and stuff too. So, one of those things where it could go either way. And I think the production values were better than I expected for this kind of movie. Although I mentioned Law and Order, it does feel to me a little bit less cinematic, a little bit, even though it looks good, it feels kind of like TV movie in a way. Like
it's shot on film, which is
the way
cool.
But the way it's kind of staged, the way it's plotted, all the things about it, never gets too violent, never gets too, it's relatively safe in that aspect. It's not bad. It's just it's a little bit mom dad level kind of a movie in some ways. But that being said, it kept me interested throughout. It kept me following the characters. The acting was pretty darn great, especially Abigail. She's quite amazing in this, and she's been great for years. But she hasn't really got to shine like this that I can remember in a movie for quite a while. And once again, I might have just missed the other movies she's been in. But she really gets to play and do a lot in this movie. Other than I said, like kind of it feeling a little safe, a little TV plotting as well as that goes. Yeah. That'd be a little cut against it. The only other thing about it that's a little weird, and I couldn't quite picture what was kind of nagging at me. And once again, this is I enjoyed it. It's not, I'm going to recommend it, but the thing kind of nagged at me was there's something about the point of view of this movie that kind of throws me a little bit. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And I finally, I think, figured it out. And this just could be my take on it. I'd be curious to see what other people think about this. This feels like a movie that at some degree, and not the movie, but probably the script, I'm guessing, that at some degree is saying like, well, this is how Miranda rights came to pass. Here's the untold story, quote, untold story of the woman, who who went through this horrible event and how she had to fight to get justice. And it kind of felt like the whole time to me, like, isn't this Miranda right kind of in the way? Like, isn't it sad that this came to pass? And isn't it kind of like, I keep feeling like this movie is kind of like on the side of like, why can't we just let the cops do what they need to do to get to justice? Because they were getting to justice anyway here, right? Weren't they doing the right thing? Isn't it kind of cool that they were just kind of doing what they were doing? So I kind of get that vibe from this script the whole time. And even I think in the blurb, it's something like that, like something about how the real evil that was done upon was never been told, or something like that, or some kind of weird like slant to it like that. So this just feels to me like it has a little bit of an axe to grind, that this Miranda right was actually created in the first place. And wouldn't it be great if we could really just take the shackles off these poor cops that can't get stuff done? Once again, that's a minor little side like tone that I feel in here. And once again, I think it's mostly in the script. I think everyone else is here doing great work for a cause that they probably feel really strongly about. And I would say I would overall recommend it.
Yeah, I for some reason I didn't read it that way. I just thought it was just tragic. I had no idea how someone's Miranda rights, the origins of that, came from such a traumatic event. Eric, your thoughts on Miranda's victim and Bruce's train of thought regarding his perceptions on Miranda's victim as well. Did you see where he's going with that?
I do. And I kind of disagree just because I saw it from a different perspective. The Bruce's perspective is totally valid.
Yeah.
The way I saw it was Miranda rights are rights we're all afforded. And sometimes things that we need as a society or rights we need to fight for, sometimes the way we have to go about fighting it is not the cleanest way, but that doesn't make the rights any less valid. For example, you're behind Abigail Breslin's character. Unless you're a monster,
unless you're Miranda.
yeah,
right.
But you're behind Abigail, but also Ernesto Miranda, the one that raped her, the one that his namesake is Miranda rights. He's a rapist. He's a piece of crap, garbage human being, but he still deserves his rights. And that's kind of what I see this movie as saying. It's kind of like freedom of speech doesn't end at speech you like. It goes beyond that. Nazis get freedom of speech as much as it sucks, but if everyone doesn't get it, then no one gets it, that sort of thing. So like the Miranda rights are important, and Ernesto Miranda definitely deserved them, but it's hard to get behind that, isn't it? Because like Ernesto is just such a piece of work that like, how can you root for that? With Ryan Phillippe's character, he's what you would normally call the antagonist in this, but the thing he's fighting for, depending on what reason he's fighting for it, probably more selfish reasons, but the thing that he's fighting for is worth fighting for. One of the things I love about this movie is it's so dirty in the sense of how it deals with ethics and morality, because usually the more important conversations to have about ethics and morality do kind of get dirty from time to time. And this is just one case of that. And I also think that's what made this movie the most interesting is, we've all heard of the Miranda rights. I think very few people knew the history of that. And then to see it play out, it's like, oh God, yeah, that's, I don't know how I feel about this, but it is what it is. And I really appreciate that this movie kind of leaned into both sides, even the ugly side that we don't want to really talk about or think about.
Eric, I was really surprised by this movie. Were you surprised as well at how good this movie? I think you texted me that it was a banger. What made this a banger? All of those aforementioned things, the way it presented.
Yeah, everything I said. I was definitely surprised because like I watched it because it's courtroom drama and I love courtroom dramas. But like Bruce mentioned, that poster, Jesus. If you go online and look up the poster, don't just watch the movie. Just
read the Miranda rights to the poster creator.
Right. Look, and to Bruce's point, these are all very, very good, if not excellent actors on the poster. It's just the poster you're thinking, oh no, this is not going to be a good movie. No, it's a really good movie. I really loved it, and all three of us recommend it. I'm sorry, Eric, you were gonna.
Oh, and I think the movie actually looks really good. It reminded me, like, it didn't look quite as good as Zodiac, but it had the same feel to it. Probably because it's set roughly around the same time. Maybe that's the reason. Yeah, I love the look of it. I was just kind of leaning in. It kind of reminds me of Paths of Glory. because Paths of Glory is essentially 3 movies in one. You got the war movie, then you got the courtroom drama in the middle, and then you got the prison movie at the end. This is like a kind of a rape story, and then it turns into a courtroom drama, and then it turns into it feels like it's a couple movies in one, and they all work together great. Yeah, I absolutely love this movie.
So I interviewed Michelle Dano today, and I asked her about this movie and the look, like you were saying, Eric, and she said the movie is shot on film. Her son, who is also a up and coming filmmaker, he said, Mom, don't shoot on film, shoot on digital. He said he was basically telling his mom, you're not up for the challenge to shoot this movie on film. But then she said she wanted to go the extra mile to shoot this movie on film. And I think it really looked good, in my opinion as well. And yeah, so I think this is a really good find for us. Miranda's Victim this week in select theaters on demand, October 6th. It's actually did a great run in the festival circuit. It won a whole bunch of awards. I'm so glad that Bruce, at the very base level, actually was going to recommend this movie. I am absolutely surprised. Let's start with Bruce's rating for Miranda's Victim.
Probably go 3.5. Exactly the same as VHS 90, whatever we just watched.
Just 85. Very good. 3.5 stars for Bruce Purkey. Look, I'm giving Miranda's Victim 4.5 stars. Really love this movie, and I'm going to highly recommend this movie to anyone who asks me. So, Eric.
This is a 5-star banger for me. Granted, this is catnip for me, but I also love how it just kind of it stayed within the gray area throughout and just kept me interested and kept my gears turning the whole time. And even the stuff that Bruce said that was kind of made him feel a certain way about that went through my head too. But also that's kind of what kept me invested in this movie and got me more and more kind of thinking about it.
If you are slightly interested from our review of Miranda's Victim, the ending of this movie is exactly what happened. So it's not just a courtroom drama. It's just not the courtroom drama. It's not just, there is something that happens at the end and you go, wait, did they just make that up? Nope. That's exactly what happened in real life. Oh, Eric?
I forgot all about that. So when that happened, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit and then went right to Wikipedia as soon as the movie was over. I was like, I mean, you have to have that in there. That's exactly. I know that like just because things happen doesn't mean it has to be in the movie, but it's kind of
it had to be there, right? You know, she had to fight to actually put that ending in. Can you believe that?
Really?
When you listen to the interview, she had to put that ending in.
I can't wait to hear that interview.
Oh, okay, so all right. So that is Miranda's Victim.